Welcome to episode 68 of the Mile 20 podcast where epic shit happens. My name is Lori and I'm here with my bestie.
Laura.
And we want to welcome anybody who may be new to listening to the podcast today. Quick explanation about what we are and what we do. We are two best friends that ran a marathon in all 50 states, met in 2015 and completed in
2014.
2014. We met in 14, first marathon together in 2015. And then we completed the 50 states in 2023 and are continuing to marathon. We are back in the pack runners.
And we're the old ladies on the course now after today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we are definitely on the upper echelon
Yes,
of
we are on
age.
yes.
Not the upper echelon of speed, because we do all of our critiques of different races and talk about our journey from the back of the pack perspective.
Yes.
Which means we're the party in the back of a race.
We're slow.
Very slow.
But we have a good time. I actually look at all the pictures that we took today, and we'll talk about a lot of the things that we did today. And it was really funny because I'm like, wow, we stopped a lot to take pictures.
Yes. Well, we do what we always do, and we enjoy the journey.
It's the journey.
It is about the journey. Mile 20 is our name for a multitude of reasons. One, we do plant beverages, not healthy beverages, but
alcoholic beverages
at mile 20-ish. Today in Cedar Rapids, we ran a marathon fresh off the course, and we had a double plant because it was a large out and back.
We like double plants.
Yes. So we stopped twice. At like 15 and something, and then 20 and some change.
And we got a lot of stares on the course. Like people like looking at us like, yeah.
That's okay.
That's okay. We don't do it for other people. We do it for ourselves.
Yes, because we don't feel a wall anymore.
No. And we enjoy ourselves, and we're out there to go and have a good time. And it's about the journey. As
it is about the journey. And mile 20 is also cool because there's like a little bit of a parallel. We're both in our 50s, and there's a parallel between hitting the wall during a race and kind of turning 50 in life you have
and hitting the wall in life.
Yes, the wall in life.
Menopause, and it's like you know what? At 50 plus years old, I mean, you could just make a decision to shut down and just not care about things anymore, not do anything for yourself anymore. And you and I have totally taken a different approach. Much like at mile 20, the last 6 miles, we pushed through it, and the same thing in life.
Yes, and we're going to enjoy the hell out of it.
Right.
Yeah,
that's totally it. That's totally it. So so normally for most of our earlier podcasts that we've done, we were doing what we call the mile 20 beverage to commemorate our planting of the mile 20 beverage during marathons. And so the past couple of episodes, we've kind of taken a little bit of a break from that. We've been
since the beginning of the year almost. We've been trying to be more healthy and drink water during the week.
And today we have a mile 20 beverage.
So
what are we drinking, more?
Prosecco.
Yeah. And we're drinking Prosecco to commemorate, one, that I drank a lot of Prosecco today.
Yes.
And then 2, we're at the Hilton Garden Inn, and you want to go and explain what we got going on there?
Yeah, I would have chosen. So there's I had no idea that Cedar Rapids had so many breweries.
Ton of breweries.
And good beer. Really good beer. So if you're into a good brew and you want to go adventure somewhere unusual, Cedar Rapids, I would give 2 thumbs up for a quick weekend. There are enough breweries to fill your day. But I have fallen in love with Big Grove Brewing. They have an Easy Eddie, which is a lovely hazy IPA that I've had indulged in quite a bit this weekend.
Just a little bit.
Wiggle it. But we're showing our age. But the taps here at the Hilton Garden Inn, where we are staying, are not working. So I could not get the Easy Eddie that they said they had on tap. So I am having a Prosecco.
Yes.
In review.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers.
So we are actually recording in Cedar Rapids. We finished running the marathon, the inaugural
always struggle with this word. Always inaugural
race. It means it's the first time they ran the race this year. And so we're still in Cedar Rapids. We just ran the race today. It was a yucky day.
It was a yucky day, but it could have been
It
worse.
could have been worse, girl.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we both flew in on Friday. The race is on Sunday. That is today. Friday we flew in. You flew in late. I flew
really
in
late.
earlier. Yesterday we had a full day here. It was almost, it felt like over 90 degrees and full sun. Had that been the weather today, we would have been wilting little flowers out on the course.
We would have expired, girl.
All the last 2 weeks, we've been watching the weather. They were saying that we were going to be getting thunderstorms
The whole
the
weekend.
whole weekend, which yesterday was beautiful, hot, but beautiful.
Hmm.
Today we kept watching and watching because they were still saying showers for today. And I feel like we got super lucky.
We did. I mean, we started out and it was if it could have been 200% humidity, it was 200%
We were
humidity.
swimming. It felt like swimming sometimes.
You can cut through the air. And so when we started, I mean, I don't know about you, but so Lori and I both, when we run, we both carry water bottles, in our, like handheld water bottles. And at mile one, my hand that was carrying the water bottle, like it felt like I had just put it into like a bucket and just pulled it out, and my hand was just dripping wet.
Oh,
I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fun.
yeah, there was forearm sweat at 7:15 this morning. When
Yeah,
the race started at 7, I had forearm sweat by 7:15.
yeah, because it was already in the high 70s when we started,
Yeah.
and so I know that when we finished, it was in the mid to higher 80s. But we did have some rain intermittently throughout the course, which we didn't mind until the very end.
Yeah, because it started to downpour.
Yeah.
We actually had one of the course officials come up to us at about mile
Yeah,
25.
25 and change. It was 25 and a half
It
we
was
were at.
we were almost to 26.
Yeah.
And he's like, just so you know, there is weather moving in. There is lightning, thunder, heavy rain. It's almost on top of us. You have a couple of choices. I can take you back to the finish, or, there are some bridges you can, shelter
You can
in some
shelter in place.
places. Yeah. That's up to you. And I'm just like, well, do we have to go with you? And he was like, no, it's a free country. And I'm like, okay. Because at the time, we didn't really see any lightning, hear any thunder. We had heard it earlier in the race, but
Yeah.
not at that point.
Right.
And so we were like, thank you. Awesome. Like, good job on having somebody out there to give the word out
Yeah.
that there could be a dangerous situation.
Yeah,
So
we appreciated that.
A+ on
Yes.
that. But we didn't, like, we were also doing real time looking at the sky and paying attention to what was going on around us, and we felt like it was still safe
We're
to
like, okay,
continue.
like no more screwing around. Like this last, like, half a mile, and then point two was like 0.7 mile. And
It was a
I'm trying to
negative
do the math.
split.
Yeah, we did a negative split on our last 0.7 miles. We like hauled it in, and you actually let another gentleman who was running his first marathon know, of what the official had informed us of as well with the weather. So, yeah, and we came in and finished fine.
Yeah.
But before we get into the race, like, where are we staying at?
Right now we are at the Hilton Garden Inn, and not at the DoubleTree.
The DoubleTree is in the downtown Cedar Rapids area.
Yes.
We are actually about 11 minutes, like, just outside of the city.
Yeah, not too far.
Mhm.
But ideally, like, if you were to come and want to do this race, then I would definitely recommend the DoubleTree. Like, register early,
Totally agree.
immediately get a room at the
Immediately,
DoubleTree.
immediately.
Yeah,
'Cause it was sold out.
yeah, everything was walkable from there, the start, the finish. The packet pickup was in the DoubleTree.
Mhm.
If they keep this same model for next year, I would definitely want to stay at the DoubleTree.
I totally agree. I
Yeah.
totally agree. Now, where we are staying, if the DoubleTree, fills up, totally suitable.
Yeah.
It was a good choice.
Yeah.
This Hilton Garden Inn is, and it's the only Hilton Garden Inn in Cedar Rapids.
Yeah, it feels fairly new.
It feels fair. Yeah. It's a very, very nice. It's not, worn down or anything like that. And the staff has been very, very nice and helpful.
Yeah, they've been great.
Yeah.
So I flew in early Friday.
Yes.
I got here. You were late. You were like 10 o'clock at night. So I had a whole day to
I had to
kill.
work.
I was like, what the hell am I going to do in Cedar Rapids all day? Well, there's a lot to do. So I started at Lions Bridge, which there actually is a Lions Bridge. It's Lions Bridge Brewing, and I didn't even bother to realize why it was named that.
There's a bridge with lions on it
There
right next
is.
to it.
Yep. Really great beer. They have pizza and salads. The pizza was good. But really like the food, pizza and salads. Beer was great. It's in the Czech village. So ironically, or not
Yeah,
ironically,
little background about the area.
yeah, there is I guess it was a huge meat packing area. Like one of the top meat packers in the country was based out of Cedar Rapids. And for some reason, there were just such a plethora of jobs that they got a lot of Czech and Slovakian immigrants into the area. Of course, it was Czechoslovakia back then, I think, or was it not? I don't even know in the 1800s. It was the late
I have
1800s.
no idea.
Anyway, it created a culture, like there's a whole neighborhood called the Czech Village that there's just a lot of immigrants that are, third, fourth generation at this point, but they're still here and they still have a strong culture in the area. It's kind of a unique thing about Cedar Rapids.
Yeah, the other cool thing that we looked up around Cedar Rapids is, just how it got its name. And we're like, are there rapids like around here?
Because there is a Cedar River.
Right. So the city's on the Cedar River. And what we found out is in the 1800s when the town was first started, there were actually rapids in the river, in the Cedar River, where the town was formed. And the reason why they put the town here is because they used the rapids for their mills and so forth. Well, I guess after years and years and years of putting in dams and people just modifying the waterways, there are no more rapids. And actually, when the city was first formed, it was called Rapid City. But then I guess when the town became incorporated, they changed it to Cedar Rapids because there used to be a ton of cedar trees that lined the Cedar River.
That would have been pretty.
It would have been pretty, but I mean, they're really not here anymore. So it's a little bit of background, just in terms, and people refer to Cedar Rapids as CR. They
Yeah.
call it CR. I guess it's kind of like a cool, cool name. And it's a young city. I mean, definitely like a lot of apartment buildings,
Lots
young
of
people, lots
families,
of families, young
kids.
families. Yeah.
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 Which has been fun to watch.
It has. It has. We met a really, really lovely family after the race, and the dad had just finished his first marathon, and they had three kids. Their oldest was 6, and another was 3, and then their little guy was like
One.
1.
So
And
cute.
oh my gosh, and we were chatting with him, and he was talking about his kids and stuff. So it was really, really nice. Really lovely people that we have interacted with thus far.
Yeah.
While we have been here.
Yeah, it's been a very friendly city. Yeah. And I think yesterday was super cool because we got to do something super unique.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, yesterday so we had the full day to spend in Cedar Rapids or in the area, the surrounding area.
Mhm.
So the first thing that we did was we wanted to hit up the farmers market because we had heard that the farmers market, it happens every Saturday, and it goes, I can't remember what time it starts at. Like, is it like
I think it might
it's
start at like 7 a.m. and
7 a.m.?
goes to
Goes
noon.
to noon. And, so we're like, well, let's check it out. Because, like in a couple of other cities that we've been to, Eugene
Yes.
had a great farmers market.
Fantastic farmers
We went
market.
to a fantastic farmers market was it Figeac?
Figeac,
Figeac
I think.
in France. So been to a couple of really cool farmers markets. So we went and we were blown away with how big this farmers market was. So if you were in Cedar
Block and
Rapids, like
block.
blocks of just tons of vendors and eh, fantastic food, different food choices too.
Yes.
What definitely was not repetitive food.
No.
And then had, people selling, I don't know,
Really
like,
nice wares.
yeah.
Like it was very,
Like, we both bought like cute little like gifts for people,
yes.
which was nice.
Yeah. All the crafts. and vendors were super cool. Lots of
Yeah.
art and
Yeah.
live music in different places.
Yes.
Like there was multiple live music and play. Yeah, it was really,
And
it
they
was a
and they had
surprisingly
like
wonderful.
fruits and
Yeah.
vegetables and not as much as like when I've been to the Madison Farmers Market,
Yeah.
Madison, Wisconsin, and they do a farmers market every Saturday around the state capitol. And it's almost all food.
Yeah.
Food and like, vegetables, fruits, meat, pies, breads. And so while this one had definitely had that offering, it definitely had more of a mix of, like
Yeah,
artisans and stuff like that.
for sure.
Yeah.
There were places where you could buy meat, like whole
Oh, yeah,
animals,
like, hey,
stuff
like
like
you want to
that.
buy a pig, oh,
Cool.
you want to buy half a pig, and I was like, oh wow, this is really cool.
Yeah.
I had shared that like my mom and dad used to do that when
Yes.
we were kids. They would buy like a half a pig with friends of theirs, and
Yeah.
then it would go to slaughter at the end of the season. So so that
Lots of flowers too,
lots of flowers.
but not a lot of produce, I would say.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it was still beautiful.
And it could be just earlier in the season
That's
too,
true.
But so that's the first thing that we did. And then we went to a cool restaurant.
Yeah, we went to Prairie Moon. It was like a cafe on Main,
Hmm.
in Prairieville.
Yes. It's like so appropriately named, like that the area. And we ate there because we were on our way to a really cool destination that you had found, which I absolutely loved.
Yes, we went to the set of the Field of Dreams. It is open to the public. You can go and tour the house where it was filmed. It was a 1989 film.
Kevin
Um,
Costner
yes,
and
and
James Earl Jones.
yes,
Hmm.
and very whimsical, kind of dreamy baseball movie. I think was up for a bunch of Academy Awards that year. And it's a classic from the 80s. You can't go wrong with watching The Field of Dreams.
No, you
And
can't.
there's some great dialogue. Looking back now, the acting's not what I remembered it
I
being because it's
know.
changed
I
a
know.
lot.
It's kind of funny.
But, you know, I don't know. It
Oh
was
my God,
kind
you
of
know
cool
it's a
to be
really bad
there.
movie to go back and watch? Dirty
But
Dancing.
oh
Dirty
yes.
Dancing, the acting is so
And
bad.
I love that
I know,
movie.
and I stop and I watch it every time, and like now as I watch it as an adult, I was like, I watched this like I paid for this with
Yeah.
my own money in the movie theater like a gazillion times, and like it's so bad, and I didn't even recognize it when I was a teenager.
But it's a class. I don't know. I mean, I think acting has
Evolved,
evolved,
yeah,
just like athletics. Like we keep getting faster,
yeah.
actors keep getting better, and
Yeah.
and being able to draw raw emotion in 80s was just a different time.
Yeah, yeah, no, 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 no. But the Field of Dreams location set was absolutely wonderful. You had bought some tour tickets to go for the tour of
Yeah.
the actual house that was used. And a little bit of background on that. There was actually a gentleman that owned the house, and I guess Universal Studios had approached him to use the house, and they made modifications to the house. The guy lived in an RV, like while the
Yeah.
movie was being filmed, and then he opted to have the house be left the way that they had modified it, and it's been sold, over the years to different families, different conglomerates, and so forth. It's actually owned by a nonprofit right now. And so the tour, it was cool to go inside. You couldn't go upstairs because they actually rent the house out as an Airbnb.
Which could be a cool experience,
Yeah.
but the prices, it's definitely pricey.
Yeah. Well, you're paying for the novelty of it,
Yeah.
So we couldn't go upstairs, which was kind of like a wah-wah. And then the tour was okay.
Yeah, I think that was just, I feel like it could have been better. I think it was just the delivery of our tour guide. There was a bunch of
He was a nice man, but
very
like it
nice.
just
Some of the facts didn't seem very
it was very
factual.
loose, very loose,
Yeah.
and like it was all stuff that like I learned a couple of things, little nuggets here and there, but I don't know. The one thing that we both agreed was disappointing, other than the corn wasn't big enough to like
But
give you
that's
the
our
effect,
fault
but
being there
it's like
too
it
early.
is what it is,
Yeah.
right? It's growing season. But over the left field cornfield, the left field, right? Yeah,
Yeah, it
it
was
was
the
the
left
left field,
field.
the left
Yeah.
field, and then they have the cornfield behind it. Behind that, they're building, and it's almost complete, a minor league baseball stadium, and
Massive.
it's colossal, and
It's
it
huge.
totally takes away from like, the whole. look
Because
and feel
if
of
you watch the movie, the ghost players like Shoeless Joe Jackson comes out of left field. They always come out of left field. Like left field is heaven. Like I expect to go
they
to
put another baseball field,
I
like they put a
ex-
stadium in heaven.
expect to look out at left field and see nothing but corn and assume that heaven is over there. But instead, heaven has turned into a massive minor league baseball.
Which we found out in August, the Phillies are actually going and playing there.
Yes, which
Yeah,
is intriguing, but
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah,
just the visual, like
yeah,
knowing that your vision is interrupted from what they saw when they were
yeah.
filming the movie.
Yeah, so it probably took us about an hour and 20-minute drive, like back
Yeah, from Cedar
from
Rapids.
Cedar Rapids to Field of Dreams. And I would recommend
It's
going there
worth
and
it.
checking it out. I mean, it was really neat. I mean, still have the original bleacher bench that they used in the movie as well. And I
And
enjoyed
there
that.
were tons of people like they have gloves and balls so you can go and play catch on the field where it was all filmed and hit balls. At sometimes it did feel slightly dangerous if you weren't paying attention because people were really whacking balls.
And
But
then other people were like in their phones, like taking pictures and stuff and not paying attention. So it
yeah,
was a little dangerous.
yeah, but it was cool. It was
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. And then to cap off yesterday, we went and had pizza at Need Pizza and excellent pizza.
It's very good.
Yeah, I probably give it 4 stars.
Yeah.
And I'm giving that 4 stars from having a gluten allergy. So they had not only a gluten-free crust menu or crust offering, but then also a cauliflower crust as well. I went with the gluten-free crust and the sauce was great. Just the flavor of the pizza was great. The crust was not homemade. It was kind of like it's pre-made and then
Yeah.
they kind of doctor it. So that's the only reason why I would give them 4 stars. So I'll give them a rating,
Yeah.
on Google.
I would probably say from a gluten standpoint, it was probably like a I probably agree, 4 stars as well, just because when I go to pizza places, sometimes I like to see what a chef envisions.
Like,
Like,
what's their concoction?
yeah, they
Yeah.
have different concoctions. Tell me what you want to put on a pizza. Like,
Hmm.
show me what you've put together. Instead, this was very much a build your own pizza place, which was great, but then you don't ever step outside your comfort zone. So, like I had pepperoni and sausage and basil and garlic, but it
Yeah.
was very good. It was very good. And they had a great beer selection and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I like to see a little bit of inventiveness in the
I
menu.
totally agree. I totally
The
agree.
ambiance was cool. Lots of families
Oh my
again
gosh.
in
And
there.
they had all these like really, really old refrigerators that they had converted
Oh, like kegerators.
into kegerators
Yes.
for their beer. So that was a lot of fun to go and see that. So all right, well, that's what we did leading up to the race.
Yes.
So, well, then let's talk about as we're going to get into the Cedar Rapids Marathon. So again, this was like the first year that this race has kicked off. And for those of you who are new listeners, 2 weeks ago or 2 episodes ago, we interviewed the race director, Jake Jass. Super nice guy. Like,
So nice.
and it's great. Definitely go back and listen to his story about like why him and his wife actually started a race in Cedar Rapids. He's also the race director for the Des Moines marathon, and he took over as race director after Lori and I ran the race several years ago. So
Yeah, and very nice guy. He was explaining to us like a little bit about the route, was able to give us, things to look forward to when we were running today. So we definitely came in with a little bit of knowledge of the course, but, very interested with it being the inaugural year to kind of feel out, how it was run, just what it was like. Because we did Des Moines several years ago and we're left kind of with a bad taste in our mouth. And you can listen back to that because we've already reviewed that race. But excited the fact that Jake has taken over
yes,
as the
yeah,
director and his focus is way more kind of on making sure that he's putting out a good product for everybody who is involved in the race, which is wonderful.
totally agree.
Should be the point of any race director,
Totally agree.
really.
Totally agree.
But yeah, so this morning the race started at 7 a.m.
Let's before we go into the race, let's talk
Okay.
about the expo yesterday
Yes.
because after we finished up at the farmers market because we were downtown,
Yeah,
we went and picked up our race packets before we went off to Field of Dreams.
correct. Yeah.
And the expo was actually held at the convention center that is attached to the DoubleTree.
Yes.
And when we first walked in, there was really, really, really long line.
There was, and I was like, is this for real? Like, is this for bib pickup?
And I was like, dude, I'll get online. Like, you figure out if this is pickup or is this like for something else?
No, it was bib pickup. The entrance kind of into the expo area was very narrow. And so everybody was kind of queuing up to go pick up their bibs with families and stuff. And I couldn't quite figure out what was going on. But basically, as soon as you came in, you picked up your bib. So it was right by the front door, as opposed to some places where you go into an expo, you kind of go into the expo and then you walk around to where the bib pickup area
Right.
is. So I think that it was kind of jamming things up because, they were trying to keep the line short. It was a small room.
It was too small.
Yeah, a little too small.
It was too small for the number of people that because the bib pickup was only on Saturday.
Yeah.
Now we got online at 10 after 11 and we got to our bibs at 11:25. So we were online for 15 minutes, even
Yeah.
though the line looked really long.
It wasn't heinous.
And it was more of like, and you heard a lot of people like, oh, like this is going to be crazy, like waiting on the line. So we didn't wait online very long. And then they were really great. Like there was a woman at the door who was like asking like, hey, are there any full marathoners? And we were like, yes. And so she shuffled us in like right away,
Yeah.
which was kind of cool.
Yes. Excuse me, everybody. Full marathon to come.
Marathons coming through. So, so I don't know if it was a matter of, just from a logistics perspective, really not knowing what to anticipate and what the surge was in terms of like people coming.
Yeah.
But they didn't use like a QR code where like they did any kind of scanning. So you had to like know your bib number and they just asked for your bib number and then they gave it to you. So I wasn't asked for like my ID card or anything like that.
No,
and
they
some
just
races are
asked.
hit or miss, you know, with that.
Actually, a lot of them I feel like are not asking for ID anymore.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah. Yeah.
This season period.
Yeah,
But
this season. Yeah.
the expo was very small. They did have a couple of vendors that had like basic things. And they also had an area where they had, Cedar Rapids Marathon sweatshirts that looked very cute, very inviting.
And
However,
the prices didn't look like that bad.
They didn't. I
No.
didn't notice the
No.
price.
Yeah, no, the prices didn't look that bad
Like
at
they
all.
weren't like $80 sweatshirts.
No, they
Oh.
weren't they were not price. I think they were like $60.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So, but I'm glad that we both did not partake in that because we both have
But
established
it
that
did look really cute.
it did look really cute.
Yes, but we
Yeah.
did not.
No,
No.
we did not. We did not
But we
partake.
did. So one of the things, obviously, with us dropping a beverage at mile 20, that well, usually I'm in charge of dropping.
You always are.
Yeah, I'm in charge of figuring out the logistics of that
You always
piece of
are.
things. And so I was looking online. I could not find mile 20 on the map. So it was a little difficult. We did go up to the information booth and we did have a lovely lady, Mandy.
Yeah, because the maps online do not have the mile markers on the
No.
maps.
But there is a weird link that I never noticed in the upper right-hand corner of the map that says Map My Run. And if you click on that, it will give you further information about the race, which was nice. So I was eventually able to figure out where we should drop our bag.
Mandy at the information booth was the one who went and let us know about that.
Yes,
Yeah.
she was extremely helpful. So thank you, Mandy.
Extremely helpful.
Yeah.
Extremely helpful. Yeah, and then the number of the vendors were decent as well.
Yeah. And it was really cool. So you picked up your bib and then we went around and picked up our shirt. And then there were some bonus items.
Yeah, the cool thing is that we got these really cool hats for the, I don't know, it says the Cedar Rapids Marathon weekend. And then the other cool thing is that we got these really, really cool socks. So
I
they're
just
like,
want them to fit me.
yeah, they're the ones
Size
that
fits
fit
all.
all, but that's okay.
They're not going to fit my size 6 feet.
Yeah, yeah, but I thought that those were like nice extra touches that they gave. Like they gave the hats to the full marathoners, and then the socks to the relay half and full marathoners as well.
Yeah, it's a perk. I mean,
In addition to the shirts that we're wearing, and we'll talk about that at the end. But yeah,
yeah, it's it's just nice when they go a little bit above and beyond. I always love a race that does a little something extra. And so that was just a very nice thought.
Yeah, so the whole process of getting our bibs and then getting all of like the shirt, the hat, the socks, so forth, that was very, very organized.
It was very organized. It was very quick
Yeah.
because it wasn't expansive
Yes.
by any stretch. So it was
Yes.
a simple packet pickup.
Yes. Nope, totally agree.
Yep.
Totally agree. All right.
This
So
morning.
this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we
7 a.m. start.
Yeah, 7 a.m. start.
Kind of wish it was a 6 a.m. knowing how hot we thought it could have gotten. And it was hot.
Yeah, and with it being a June race, even if it starts at 6:30, just getting that extra half hour of just, you know, not battling with the sunrise. Yeah, I mean, well, the sunrise is early during the summertime, but
Yeah,
just
I
like
mean, it was light
the
at
high,
6:30.
yeah, just the high heat,
Yeah.
The parking, we lucked out. There's actually a parking lot, a very, very large parking lot, across from the
Pickle Palace,
the Pickle Palace,
which I found out has a pickleball court up top.
and a rooftop bar.
I thought it was about pickles. I didn't know it was about pickles.
We found out from a bartender tonight about that place. So yeah, so we parked across the street, and then we just walked to the start, and we both had to use porta johns. And this is an important fact to go and think about in a race, and this is something that we've complained about in the past. There were plenty of porta johns for people.
Yes, absolutely.
And we waited online for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And
we were using the porta johns that were closer to the finish line as opposed to the start line. So I cannot attest to what the start line porta johns were like.
We used the orange porta johns.
But the ones towards the finish were very quick, very easy.
Yeah.
Standard porta john.
Yes. Standard porta john. But it was
quick line.
But it was a quick line, which was good because sometimes when like it hits you when you get to the start area, you're like, oh man, like this is gonna be awful because I'm gonna stand in line for like freaking a half hour.
But not the case.
No, totally not the case.
So when you come around to the start line as well, the marathon starts with the marathon, the half, and a relay. So there were about 1,400 people there at the start line. It was very much like you put yourself in your own corral, and they did corral you. And at first I kind of didn't understand what was happening, but they did kind of cordon you off and sent us off at like 5-minute interval waves once we started. But I'm getting too far ahead of ourselves.
Well, yeah, but the reason why that was super important, you did put what do you call it? This?
I don't know, the horn before the.
I don't know.
Something.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say
it's a long day.
Before the skis, I'm like, wait a minute. The tips are in the front of the skis. What am I? The skis before the tips? I don't know what the hell. Anyway,
it's been a long day, people. Please be generous.
Yeah, the whole reason why they did some wave action was because there were a little further up in the course. The course got tight because we did some trail running and paved trails, but they were concerned about there being too tight of a flux of people,
and it was the right call.
And it was totally the right call.
Yeah.
So they explained it, and we didn't know like where our wave cut off or started. So so we were like, we're just gonna go with the flow.
Yeah.
Now I have to say that logistically, all the stuff at the start was freaking the bomb. Like,
yeah, phenomenal.
Like just the amount of, just having talked to Jake a couple weeks ago and just understanding everything that goes into like the planning, for the race, everything was so well marked. I mean, they had the start line, the finish line, shoot very, very well, like kind of gated with, signage and everything.
What I loved was the sound system was on point.
On point.
We were 1/10 of a mile away
and we could hear
everything.
We could hear stuff at the parking lot.
Yeah. It was wonderful.
We were like, what?
We've been at races recently where you're standing there and you're like, I can't. Yeah, you can't hear anything.
No.
and people are like talking, the national anthem's going on, and nobody knows. You knew exactly what you were supposed to be doing. You could hear everything. It was clear, loud sound system. Loved it.
Yeah. And I thought what else was cool is that they had some of the representatives from Transamerica who were the sponsors, the main sponsors of the race.
Yeah.
They had some speakers, some motivational stuff, going on. I believe it was Jake's wife, Laura, who did the emceeing.
Oh, was it? I
Yes.
did not pick up on that.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. I heard somebody saying Laura, so I'm just assuming that
Yeah.
that was his wife because she's got a really cool name like me, and so she was doing the MC. But the other cool thing that we loved was that
Very unique.
this was so unique. They actually had a gentleman who played a live guitar for the national anthem, and then as each wave was starting, he was playing like different, like kind of instrumental music,
It's
like
crazy.
cool music.
I cannot even tell you what song he was playing when we started. I was not paying attention. I was paying attention to every other wave but ours.
Yeah, I did not know. I didn't
You have
pay
no
attention
idea
to
what
it
he
either.
played.
I was so focused on like my watch starting and like I was like, oh shit, we're starting this race. So and y'all like for our avid listeners, you know that I went and had nasal surgery less than a month ago,
Crazy. You did
and
awesome today.
had a part of my head opened up and skin from my head put in my nose because I had a tear inside of my nasal cavity. And so I have not run like at all like this past month. I walked 6 miles with my sister and my daughter, and then you and I ran 3 miles last weekend with the Conshohocken Running Club.
And then we did one
And then
run,
we did
just the,
another run, just
yeah.
us, and that's it. That's all I've done this past month. So I went into today a little bit like, well, we'll see what happens.
It's a 7 hour cutoff.
But yeah, like ended up finishing the race and like
In negative splits.
yeah, and I'm tired right now, but like, like I knock on wood, like nothing is injured. So thank God.
It's amazing what muscle memory can do.
Yeah. Yeah, but don't do as we do.
No, this today marks our completion of our 73rd marathon.
73rd marathon.
And there is something to be said about muscle memory. And
Yeah.
just, your body kind of remembers after a period of time what it is, and it kind of gets used to the mileage. And it took a long time to get there. I'm not
A long time.
belittling. I always respect the distance. But we have a lot of fun doing the distance because of the fact that our bodies are trained and they're used to doing it.
Yeah,
Even when we don't do it,
yeah.
it can still do it.
The only I have two complaints about my feet though. I'm like as I told you,
Yeah.
I'm already losing a toenail on my left foot, and now I'm going to lose a toenail on my right foot.
Yeah.
So for new runners, when you lose a toenail, it's usually because you have like a toenail that is like it's like a strike point. It's like your toe for some reason is hit like striking before everything else. So it's like almost getting like that extra pressure. So what ends up happening is you actually get a blister underneath your toenail. And so, ends up going and lifting the toenail right off. It sounds absolutely disgusting. It is. And what you feel is like when you move your toes, you get this like kind of like it's just feels tight and this painful thing. So I got that going on right now. And then I have been wearing Asics Gel Nimbus sneakers since I started running. It is the only running shoe, as you know, that I have ever worn my entire running career since 2004, right? This past season, they went and messed with my shoes so bad that where the like the I don't know where it is, the bone by like your big toe on the inside of your big toe. I got a pinch point on both sneakers. So today I have not gotten blisters on my feet since 2015 when we ran Marine Corps Marathon together, and that was only because it was super wet. My feet got kind of spiced up from that.
Yeah.
I got blisters today from my sneakers. I never get blisters from my sneakers. So So yeah, so I'm ready to throw those suckers out and
I
like
don't
I'm
blame
actually
you.
gonna go and look for a new kind of sneaker. Like I'm just kind of sad
You're
about
gonna
it, but
turn into like a Brooks person or
I don't know, man. I need something different though at this point.
Hoka, Hokas.
I
You're
don't
gonna
know.
wear Hokas
If it
if it were,
if it works better than what I
yeah.
was dealing with today, so anyway, it just that's the struggle too, that when you find gear that you really love and you have like people that need to go and justify their jobs and so forth, and
They gotta
they
modify,
have to modify,
modify,
and it's just
make them lighter, make them whatever,
yeah.
more cushion, less cushion,
Yeah.
lighter, lighter, lighter,
Yeah, yeah,
always.
yeah. So, but the race, as I digress, the race, I mean, just we got the bibs and the bib size. We always complain about like when bibs are too big. The
No, it's
bib size
beautiful.
was perfect.
Perfect.
So, so not too big, not too small. It was just the right. It was like Goldilocks. It was just the right size.
Yes.
And then, it was a good showing for the marathon.
Yeah. How many did they say like it was like 800?
850 people they announced
Yeah.
at the race start who were
Yeah.
doing the marathon.
I know that there was still room for people, but it was a good
It didn't sell
showing.
out the marathon. All the other races sold out, which was cool.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll go and sell out next year for the marathon.
Yeah. I think it was, as far as the course goes, I think we both said, you know, it's not the prettiest course we've ever done.
Yeah.
We've ran Big Sur. We've been to New York
Alaska.
City.
I
We've been
mean,
to Alaska. Yeah, we've been to Montana. We've been St. George's, Utah. We've ran some really spectacular scenic races. Acadia,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. You can
MDI
keep going.
marathon. Yeah, I
Keep
mean,
going,
like,
dude.
so it's like for an Iowa race, it is a solid race. It's a neat little town that has enough to want to draw you here. The course is interesting. It's got some elevation in a flat area. There is some elevation, especially early on.
Which we knew about ahead of time because Jake had mentioned that from about mile like 3.5, 4 to about like 6.
Yeah.
He's like it's a decent hill, and it was like a hill, and then it was like a little flat, and then it was another hill like some undulation,
Yes.
type of
I
thing.
feel like it was very like in the beginning, you're like, this is the hill. It was very like the grade was not bad. But then, like, once you kind of got to the top of the bad hill, there became some spicier little upper hills that started rolling up on the top, which became a little spicier, but it wasn't
I
it wasn't terrible.
so admittedly, because I haven't been running, I did a majority of those up towards the end. I ran more of the hills, but like at the beginning, I was like, I can't waste my energy on this, because when we started, it was like almost 80 degrees
It was hot.
and like 200% humidity.
Yeah. That was right before our first little wave of rain hit.
Yes. So I said to Lori, I'm like, dude, I cannot waste energy on hills today. I need all the gas in my tank to get across the finish line.
Yeah.
So, but there were some folks though from Iowa that were not happy
They're like,
about
this
the
is
course.
not
They're
fun.
like, this is not flat. This isn't Iowa. Like, where these hills come from. So that was really interesting to kind of like hear that,
Yeah, because it's hilly as hell where we live.
Yes,
So
yes.
anywhere we run, we've got some elevation that we have to deal with on a regular basis. So
Yeah.
it wasn't all that terrible for us.
Now, the one last thing I will say, to plug the start, is that they also plugged local businesses
Yes.
and, mentioned, so like as they were doing the emceeing, mentioned, local businesses that were open along the course where people could go to, visit, like, and then see like their runners and so forth. So I thought that that was a really, really nice touch where the race was really kind of connecting like the people, because I mean there were a lot of spectators at the beginning
Yeah.
of the start, and they were really connecting the spectators to the local community as part of the race, which I thought was neat.
Which is what every race should do
They should do
because
that. Yeah.
the marathon is such a lengthy course, and we know it does play a little bit into. Sorry, I'm laughing at Laura
I'm
fixing her hair next to me
we video every episode, and I'm
on
hold on,
YouTube.
I gotta do this. I gotta. Dude, I have this I'm wearing my hair in a bun because I took a shower after the race and I'm like, I am not doing my hair. And I have this something about Mary, kind of piece of hair that just wants to you know what, I'm just gonna let it stay up. There we go. It's what is it doing?
Dude, I don't even have makeup on.
Oh, it's okay.
Recording and we're videoing this, but
It's okay.
I just can't. I'm exhausted.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm so hyper and exhausted at the same time.
I know. I'm so afraid
Crazy dichotomy.
I'm so afraid to see you later on tonight. We'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, but I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
You know, now the course we found to be very, very well marked
Yes.
in, I would say, I'm just going to call it 98% of the course.
Oh yeah, if not 99%.
If not 99%.
Yeah, because really it was just a little bit after, just to jump ahead a little bit as far as the course goes. It was really after we talked to the officer, you kind of go off onto a sidewalk that's like a trail along the river. And when we made that left-hand turn, we're in the back of the pack, so there's not a lot of people behind us. You can't see anybody. There's nobody in front of us really to follow. And there were a couple of intersections there where it got a little confusing. And I'm like, I guess we still go straight. I'm just assuming.
Yeah, there weren't cones and because for the majority of the course they had taped arrows on
Yes.
The concrete on the road.
Which was fabulous. So I
Absolutely
kept
fabulous.
looking for the tape on the sidewalk and I did not see it. So
yeah, because we were by ourselves at the end.
yeah, but luckily we did see the 26 marker, so we knew that we were going right and to keep going straight. And then we also knew from where we parked and seeing it all in
where
the
the
morning,
landmarks were.
yeah, where the finish line was. So we knew we were probably correct, but it did get a little dicey there towards the end.
Yeah, and then in two other spots, so there was a blow up. It was like a blow up arch that went across the road,
which is fabulous. Like
it
the
was
first
so
one was
awesome,
so cool.
Yeah, they had marathoners go this way, half go this way, 10K go this way.
Very clear.
But on this one blow up, where it had half marathoners basically make a turn, make a U-turn around the spot. And then 10K goes straight, but it didn't have any marker for the marathon.
Well, and I was thinking that it was reading half
and then
the marathon should turn around. But they did have a plethora of wonderful volunteers underneath
about 5 or 6 people that were looking at people's bibs marathon goes straight, marathon goes straight.
Yeah.
So we're not sure if maybe something when they got those printed out, there was a little bit of a snafu on that. But again, the volunteer staff was absolutely phenomenal.
The whole race.
Yes.
The whole race. The support for this race was phenomenal as far as
water everywhere. They had ambulances set up, especially on the more on the front end of the race, I would say.
Yeah, but they did have a portable EMT that was in an
that was
ATV.
Driving back and forth.
Yes.
Of course. Yes.
So there was a lot of medical on the field. There were several places where there were cooling stations where they had sprinklers where you could cool yourself off. There were places where they had rags in baby pools with ice and cold water.
Yeah.
So that people could take the rags. I will say at the back of the race, which again is not unusual, and I did not find it offensive because I did get one.
Yeah.
But there were places where I knew that there were one, that they were earlier and they were gone by the time we got back to that area. But I didn't find it offensive at that point, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was fine. I get it.
Yeah.
And it was rainy.
Yeah.
So luckily things started to cool off as well.
Yes. No, we were very, very fortunate about that. And then, the third spot was around this area called Mount Trashmore. It is actually an old garbage dump that is in the heart of Cedar Rapids. I'm like, what the hell?
And it is open as a park.
Yes, and it has a viewing platform at the top because it is the highest point in Cedar Rapids.
Yes.
So there was a point there where it was overconed, and there were some volunteers that were moving stuff around as we came into the area. I think that they they kind of fixed it, but
Yes.
it was like we were like, which way? So you went around the cones one way, I went another way, and they're like, just
Choose
just
your own
no,
adventure.
she said, just do you.
Yeah.
So so again, like that's just I think that was probably just, as that stuff got laid out, it just I don't know. It just somebody probably thought that they had the best intentions, but it was just a little confusing.
Yeah.
But we fared fine. And again, the volunteers were there to go and help direct,
Yeah.
and so forth. I would say that the water stops were phenomenal. They did not run out of water or they had
There were
Powerade.
so many stops.
Yes.
Like in the beginning, it almost felt like every mile had a water stop. It got a little bit sparser out, part of the out and back from mile 12 to 15. And then coming back, I would say maybe whatever the reverse was. Let's
Yeah.
see,
The-
20. Yeah, it doesn't matter, but it's a long just rail trail. And I think it's just hard to get in there to
Yeah.
get water stops. So it became a little bit more sparse there, but where
Water
they could put
stops
them,
and
they did put
porta
them.
johns. Porta johns
Yes.
were scarce in that same area as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But on the rest of the course, there were porta johns in a ton of different locations.
Yeah.
And
Plethora. It felt very well supported.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Anytime we needed anything, like
It was
it
there.
was accessible,
And they brought from Des Moines, and I was so happy to see this.
Oh, this is great. The
It's,
bicyclers.
yes, one of my favorite things about the Des Moines Marathon was the fact that they have a bike crew. Now, they were pretty well stocked. It just wasn't as obvious as it was with Des Moines because I feel like they had it like sticking out, like their candy and stuff, like
Yeah.
it was on display. But they did have bike crew out there that followed along almost the entire way.
A lot of people too. It had to be
Yeah.
like maybe like we saw like maybe 6 to 8 different people along the course.
Yes. And they carry Vaseline, Body Glide, I don't even know, candy. They just had all sorts of things and they were constantly like, "Are you okay? Do you need anything? I have this, I have that." You were offered Twizzlers.
I actually at some point in time a gentleman when I was doing like body glide on my blisters, he stopped and he's like, "Oh, do you need any Vaseline?" And I was like, "No, I'm good." And he's like, "Well, do you want a Twizzler then instead?" And I was like, "I wish I could take that, it has
Yeah.
gluten in it." But then later on, I saw the same gentleman, and that's when my blisters had gotten worse. And so note to self, I should have hit him up for the Vaseline like early on. But I did take him up on the Vaseline and it was, I mean, it helped. It helped.
Yes.
I mean, I still got the blisters, but it definitely helped. So keep those coming. We love like those trail bike angels. They are absolutely
Philly
wonderful.
to have that.
I think Avery should have them. I
Every
think they're
race
just
should have them.
phenomenal,
They are like
Yeah.
trail angels
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. No, I think that they're absolutely fantastic. Now, the one thing that you and I picked up on, because again, the volunteers were fantastic. They were all over the course,
Yeah.
like all over the course. There was an area at Riverview Place apartment complex. And this is like right when maybe like
It's
after
they're
three
in
and a
the
half,
hill.
4
Yeah.
miles where like the hills started. You want to talk about that one?
Yeah, it was just briefly. Um, that it was as we were approaching, there seemed to be some angry residents or visitors to the
They were not
Riverview
happy.
that were having a hard time leaving, and there was nobody there to moderate getting in and out of that development for the people who were trying to move in and out, and the race was going right across their way. So it might be nice to either have somebody from the apartment complex or a volunteer put there just to keep everybody safe because there did seem to be some anger issues with some of the with
Yeah,
the
and-
resident that we saw. They
yeah.
kind of bolted out of there, and it was
Yeah.
like, dude,
Yeah.
like, be careful.
And there were runners close by. Nobody was at risk of getting hit from
No.
this one person, but people, we saw something. What race was it? We were in Austin, Texas, and there was an angry gentleman
Oh yeah,
that was
edging his way.
he was trying to go across the route and he was on a closed side road and he was trying to go then across the main road across the route,
Which was closed.
and a woman who had like a rake who was raking up like cups. She was a volunteer. She freaking stood in front of this dude's
And
vehicle.
was like, you cannot come this way.
And
I'm like, that's
and
ballsy.
then the guy was screaming at her, and eventually, like the cops came,
Yeah.
and so because we were running up the hill, and we kept turning around to like see what was happening there. So I would definitely recommend that for the Riverview place because you just don't want anything. You just want to prevent.
And you want the community to support what's going on
Yeah.
out there. And if they feel inconvenienced or bitter in any way, you don't want that feeling out there. But what was incredible was the neighborhood at the top of the hill. After we passed all of that, the neighborhood at the top of the hill, it was so wonderful because they really came out. All the families were like out on their yards.
Kids with pinwheels.
Yes, and like handmade signs. And it was a lot of fun all through that area. And the beginning of the
I
race
agree.
was fantastic.
I totally agree. Now, the one place that we really, really liked, and I can't remember what, it was definitely before the 13-mile marker,
Oh, yeah.
was the Sag Wagon.
The sag wagon is the bomb.
Dwayne, who wore the bear costume at the Sag Wagon,
Yes,
freaking awesome.
he's the man. So at the sag wagon is
It's a bar.
it's a little waterfront bar. I don't know if it's like a big retention pond or whatever, but it's on the water.
It's got water.
It's got water. Um, and it's this little bar in the middle. It feels like in the middle of nowhere. I don't know if it
Yeah.
is or not.
Yeah.
And they had beer sitting out. They're like, beer, beer. It was like, yes.
On a tray.
On a tray.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I was like, hey, so my friend has a gluten allergy. Do you guys have any ciders? Dwayne was amazing.
Dwayne ran, he's like, hold on a second. He ran inside and he brought me out a can of Angry Orchard cider that was like ice cold.
It
And I
was
was,
awesome.
and he just handed, and I was like, dude, are you giving me like the whole can? He's like, yeah, take the whole thing, And I was like, oh my God, you freaking rock.
That never happens.
So
It's amazing.
yeah, so that was like a nice little like, yeah, so I had two Prosecco and an Angry Orchard. I did share some of it with you.
Yes. I would say the sag wagon was one of the highlights of the course for me.
Yeah, and it was a little disappointing because there were other bars and restaurants and so forth
Which
along.
when we visited this evening
Yeah.
after the fact, there's a really cool one in the Czech village called
Kickstand.
Kickstand, which was it was cool, but I'm like, oh, it'd be so much more fun if they were like out.
Apparently they were handing out water.
Yes.
During the race. We did not see that because I think they probably ran out by the time we got there.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lot of businesses that the course runs by. The one thing that it would be great to go and see, like as the community just embraces this race, more and more, as it just matures in the community, is to have them come out and like, be part of the race.
Yeah.
And, because what ends up happening with the running community is that you have a really, really positive experience on the course and you go back and become a patron.
Yes.
Or you recommend it to other people as well. And then people who are visiting in the area become patrons as well.
Yeah.
So it's something that we were like, again, first year, out, and we've seen cities do this so unbelievably well. And then others where, again, it's like kind of like crickets.
Yeah.
So
I did have a thought while
Yeah.
we were out there.
I thought this was really cool.
Yeah, I was thinking it would be really cool, and it's something that I'd love to talk to Jake about just to pick his brain. But I'm like, what if you could find out, like, create a competition amongst the neighborhoods where maybe the bike crew, because they're constantly back and forth along the course as well, become the judges, and you give them some kind of trophy for being like the most energetic cheer section, like who has the best neighborhood vibe, and create a competition within, that. And so then they get behind getting excited because they could win something that gives them
Absolutely.
like a
Absolutely.
for being an amazing participant and cheering all the runners on. I would love to see that kind of energy. It is the inaugural year, and I know that probably a lot of people don't know what it is to spectate, like what
Yeah.
the runners feel and vibe off of, the screaming, the yelling, the signs, the cowbells, all of that energy. You go to Route 66 and like their neighborhoods are like insane. Those people will start partying first thing in the morning. They're handing things out to runners. Like they're part of the running spirit of that race.
Oh, totally. They're part that the neighborhoods have made the culture
Yes.
of Route 66.
And I feel like this has all the bones to become that in its inaugural year. I think it's just a matter of like them understanding what they can contribute to it to create that environment
I
and to
totally
make it
agree.
special. And if you can do that, you can blow this race up. It would be amazing.
The other suggestion that we had, because Quaker Oats was actually like founded here in Cedar
As a matter of
Rapids.
fact, they have a huge
Plant.
facility here.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so as part of like running by Quaker Oats, they had a huge blow up, across the road. Now, mind you, no Quaker Oats employees, like nothing. It was just this blow up. It was like, hey, we're here. But the blow up said, like Quaker Oats, like crunch berries, right?
Smells like crunchberry.
And like, I mean, the area you're going through that area, and it totally smells like cereal. And I was like, this would be kind of cool if like Quaker went and actually handed out like crunch berries.
Yes.
Or like it, just did something, or some kind of Quaker product. Could be like little granola bars or something like that. Something that like would be like runner friendly.
Yeah.
But I just
engaging that business.
yeah,
'Cause
just
it was so
engaging them.
huge.
It's just such a huge part of like I mean, we ran by it whether we were on one side of the river or the other like several times.
Yes.
And so that would be something that, that would be, fantastic as well. Now, the finish line. Um, so we got to the finish line and it was pouring rain, like you said,
Yes.
right? So
And we all
under pouring.
Yeah, we got warned about the weather coming in. We are on the back side of the race.
So it was a 7 hour cut off, and we finished in 6 hours and 44 minutes.
Yeah. So we knew we were on the backside.
Yeah.
So, and it was raining. I mean, it was really raining.
Like pouring.
So when we got there, like they were kind of starting to break down. I'm like, that didn't bother me at all. We were having fun. We were like,
Yeah.
pretending we were cheering ourselves on.
I know, it was like, here comes Lori and Laura, because like there were like no people like along, like no spectators, because it was pouring and it was thundering out,
Yes.
right? So we were like, we had zero expectations of like the finish, but I mean, literally there was like, usually when you come across the finish line, people like announce your name and stuff, like there was nothing. But I thought what was really cool is the group of 4 folks, and we did not catch their name.
I'm so upset we didn't catch their names because they were so amazing. We high-fived them.
It was 2 women and 2 guys.
Yeah.
And so we were like kind of surging with them, throughout the end of the race. So at some point in time, they had gotten ahead of us, and they actually stood at the end and waited and cheered us on as we came across the finish line. I thought that was so incredibly sweet.
Yeah.
We're
so many sweet people.
And then we fortunately got a picture and got to meet Jake in person, because he was actually like at the finish line breaking down some stuff, which was cool. Now we walked for a little bit of a distance and we're like, all right, where the heck are our medals?
Yeah. And the woman, a woman came running out because we were like, hey, medals. And she's like, I got you.
I got you.
I got you.
With me. Come with me.
And she did. Look, in the morning, we had seen where they had laid out all the medals.
All these
it was
tables.
A beautiful display.
Yep.
She so lovingly packed them up when it started raining and put them in a tote underneath.
So they didn't get drenched,
which was so nice.
Yeah.
And after that, the idea was that Big Grove Brewery, which is this big, massive, beautiful brewery. I mean, it really is a beautiful space.
It's right at the finish.
Right at the finish, that you were to go in. There was like a way for you to walk in. You collected a burger, and then they gave you a beer. This was your food. There was apples.
That's all I saw were apples and burgers wrapped up.
Yeah. And because it was raining and we were on the back end, like the burgers some of them were almost in the rain. I did grab one, taking it. It was, it had been there for a while, which I get it. We're a little late. I'm sure they cooked them earlier, but there was nobody in sight to really guide you through that. I feel a little bit like the brewery let let the race down in a way.
Well, and we don't know who like if it was solely the brewery or if it was at the direction, of the race, but there's definitely so the finish in terms of food and beverage direction, volunteers, again,
It
like
was late. It was
yeah,
raining.
yeah,
I
just
am keeping that in mind.
totally,
Just
totally.
coming from that.
But if in the future you're dealing with like precipitation or just, on a really, really nice day, just having a little bit more organization around that through like everybody
Yeah.
going through the race. I think that would be, something that is an area of opportunity. So I wasn't super pissed that like there wasn't anything for me to eat and drink. Although I did say to you, I was like, look,
A bag of chips.
every race should go and offer out like just potato chips to runners, some kind of like gluten free, something. So that way then again, you because everybody I'm gonna say this is a
Almost
general
everybody.
almost everybody likes potato chips and you just as a runner, I know that I crave salt,
Yeah.
like post a race because you're dehydrated. So that would be a suggestion too, is just in the future. And who knows, maybe they did have chips and we just didn't get
It's possible. It is possible. I mean, I did hear rumor about burger and fries. I did not see any
We're like
fries.
fries.
And honestly, we could have gone into the brewery and gone in and probably purchased food.
Well, I
And
purchased the cider because
yeah,
there wasn't any beverages for me to drink because
yeah.
they didn't have gluten free.
I got lucky because they were offering a light beer and a sour. And I was like, really? I'm like, but you have Easy Eddie. I'm like, can't I get
Oh,
an
did you
Easy
sweet talk
I
talk them? Oh
did.
my God.
Talked my way into an Easy IPA. Easy Eddie, man, that has been the bomb this weekend.
I love it.
That
I
has been
love
my
it.
highlight of
I
the
love it. I
weekend.
love it. I love it. No, I mean, and then after the race today, we came back here, we took showers, and then we ended up going to City Walk for dinner.
Phenomenal.
Great meal, had a
Delicious.
fantastic steak.
Might want to recommend that you make a reservation because it was almost felt a little weird that we didn't have a reservation because they're like, oh, do you have a reservation?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I,
but
I
they took
agree.
us and we
Yeah, they
got
took us
seated.
in and then we went to Kickstand afterwards. That's a bar that we had mentioned earlier.
What's our bartender's name? Because he was
Oh,
amazing.
I did not catch his name,
I didn't
Lori.
catch it either.
I don't know. He was a lovely guy.
He was. He
Yeah,
was full of information about Cedar Rapids and
absolutely.
kind of giving me some guidelines of because I'll be here tomorrow all day, which I'm excited about.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna hit some more breweries,
That's good. That's good. Yeah,
maybe a
I
museum.
have to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm flying back, but I got to work too. So, but yeah, so so it was cool. And then we're recording the podcast now, and then we're probably going to go to sleep. Although I don't know how well you're going to go to sleep because you had like 2 Red Bulls during the course.
Yeah.
So
So my drink of choice, you had Prosecco's, I
yeah,
had Red Bull and vodkas, and I'm kind of hypersensitive to caffeine.
kind of
Kind of.
super hypersensitive to caffeine.
Normally I only do one Red Bull and vodka, but today I was like, shh, 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 shh. Super hyper.
So
Hyper little
Lori
jittery
probably won't go to sleep until about 2:30 in the morning. So
happens.
yeah, yeah.
Happens.
Yeah. So, but I mean that really, I mean, and the other call out that I want to, because we did meet a lot of really cool people along the course,
Yeah.
but 2 really interesting folks we met at the very end.
Yes.
Glenn Anderson is a fellow 50 stater, but he's
But
like,
how many times, Laura? How many times has he done the
I was
50
like,
states?
oh, like I see you got the 50 state, shirt on. I was like, I'm a 50 stater with my friend as well. I was like, how many, like, how many times are you, like kind of doing the 50 states? And he's like, this August, I will finish my 11th round of the 50
That is
states.
insane.
11th round. And
Go to Alaska 11
I
times.
don't know. And
I
he
love
was, I know, and
Alaska.
he was with his wife Karen, who was absolutely lovely as well. And she runs as well. And they actually met like at a race. So and they're actually going to be in Vermont when we're at the
I
Mad
hope we can
Marathon.
jump
So I
with
do
them.
hope
That
that
would
we
be
could,
fun.
they were a very, very lovely couple
They
to
were.
go and talk to. So so little bit of a shout out to them. But dude, 11 times
That's
across the 50
insane.
states. And he said something like there's only other like 6 other people who have done it in like the club. I was like, I just can't. Like, I was like, it's a
I
whole other level.
that is a whole I wonder when they started. there's a whole conversation I needed
I
to have
know,
had
I
with them
know, I
that I
know.
just wasn't capable of having at the time.
Yeah, yeah. No, that those I was like, I think we both did like I'm
I
not
wonder if I can
worthy.
find them. I'd love to talk to him.
Yeah. Well, we can probably write to him through the club,
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
true.
So, might be a cool person to interview.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah. 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 All right. So the medals and the shirts.
Yes.
The medals are kind of cool.
I like the medal.
It actually has a 26.2 finisher with the year on it. It says marathon weekend with Cedar Rapids on
I
it.
think I'm sitting on mine.
Are you sitting on it?
I am, there we go.
And like our ribbon says 26.2. So very, very catered to to what race you actually ran. And then the shirts were all different colors depending upon whether you were a man or a woman, and then what race you were doing,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah. And I feel like, they're very lightweight
Yeah.
and very breathable. I
Yes.
wasn't sure it was going to be breathable, but it's very
Yeah, I
breathable.
agree. I
So I
agree.
think it's going to be, I mean, it's a t-shirt and I don't do a lot of t-shirts, but I think it'll be a keeper.
Yeah. No,
Although, do I ever throw any t-shirts out,
no, you don't, even though you don't wear them.
even though I don't wear them?
Yes, I
Yeah.
can't even imagine what your closet or
Bad. It
yeah,
looks terrible.
yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
terrible.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is why I throw mine out, or I don't throw them out. I give them away.
Yeah.
I donate them. So, all right. So, always the question at the end of all of our races: would you recommend this race, and would you run this one again?
I don't know. I don't think I would run this one again. I would recommend it if you're okay with a quieter race that is going to be super well supported. But I would say you'd have to be okay with maybe running through one neighborhood, doing a trail for a long time and a lot of quiet green space. There is a lot of water views, but there's also a lot of industrial,
Yes.
like big industrials and Mount Trashmore. Like if you're okay with all that, sign up. I mean, it was so well supported. It was very well run. There is enough unique things about it that I would recommend it. I think if I was to run again, I'd like to see what Jake has done with Des Moines since we ran it last.
Oh, I totally agree. I totally agree. And you and I talked about that if we ever came back to Iowa, we would probably go back to Des Moines.
Unless there's something else unique I don't know that's out there that's a marathon.
Yeah, yeah. And I think I'm in the same place. I would highly recommend the course, especially for, people who are, just starting out marathoning. I mean, yeah, there's a couple of hills, but it's not bad compared to like what other marathons are out there.
No.
But I think your point of, from basically mile 12 to 13, going out and back all the way to mile 24, you're like you were not seeing a lot of spectators. And one of the gentlemen that we talked to after the race, he had run his first marathon, and he was like, yeah, it was like I kind of need a crowd to like
Yeah.
cheer me on. And he's like, that was really hard for me.
Yeah.
And again, those are like first time marathoners, and and some people thrive on that, in terms of the types of races that they
Yeah,
like.
they like a little bit more solid.
Whereas you and we've run so many different types of races that like we're like, okay, this is going to be like this in this race. Like we're going to be in it. It's
Yeah.
just you and me.
Yes.
And so it's just something to contemplate, as you sign up for this one. But we have to say, like in terms of this being a first year race, a couple of like little things.
Nitpicky.
It's nitpicky
It is
stuff.
so nitpicky.
But man, for this being a first year race, Jake and his team, they nailed it.
They did.
They
They
nailed
did
it.
a fantastic
They nailed it.
job.
So
Thank you.
fantastic job. Fantastic job.
Thank you, Jake. Please don't take our little criticisms personally. It was
No, but he was
a
looking,
really
looking
great
for
weekend.
feedback though too.
He
So
was,
which was cool. So just a reminder, we are on social media like everybody else.
At Mile 20 Podcast.
Yep, at Mile 20 Podcast. So please go out. For this particular race, we will have like I said, I took a shit ton of pictures,
Yeah.
Of a whole bunch of different things. In fact, we also had some fun with some things that are trending on social media.
Melissa.
I I'm chunking outside. Yeah, we had a little bit of fun with that as well. So definitely check us out on social media and please like us and follow us. We also video record every episode. So if you want to see us live, sitting in the
With
I
no
don't
makeup.
know, with no makeup on in like the where the hell are we? Like the ballroom area of like the Hilton Garden Inn. Definitely check us out. We're on YouTube. But keep in mind, I want you to go make mile 20 a bitch this week.
Peace out.